are you?
I'm very, very good. How are you?
Rocking and a rolling.
Oh, we like that. Better than,
Well, sometimes you get rocked and you
yeah,
have to roll. You have to roll with the rocks.
yeah, absolutely. Hey, I got Kathy down here too. Are you here, Kathy? Or are you just sort of here, Kathy?
She's coming in.
Oh, there she is. Now it shows connecting to audio. I just yeah, I just saw a black
It
screen.
takes about 10 or 15 seconds to answer all the questions like, do you want to join with this type of audio? And this is being recorded. Have you got it? So you got to click those two buttons. And if my device is sitting over here and I'm making coffee or something over there, I have to get to it before I'm heard.
I always wonder with Gary.
Delay.
Yeah, when Gary comes on, because I can see him and but I don't know if he can see me or not. Like I'm just kind of watching Gary, and waiting for it to get to the point where I can actually talk so I can go for the Monday night meetings, especially if like, hey Gary, like I'm here, turn it over and I'll run the back end for you, which is, just fine. But I'm like, Gary, Gary, can you hear me? Gary, because look like he can really see or hear anybody. He has his, what I call Sam the Eagle face on, which if you guys remember the Muppets and Sam the Eagle, that's what Gary reminds me of. Do you guys remember this? Now, hang on, I'm going to find it just in case. Let's find Sam the Eagle, because I'm telling you, this is my Gary. Especially when you see him, like there's a picture of him somewhere wrapped up in American flag. And I'm like, you're so Gary, you are so Gary. Share screen, go here. This is Sam the Eagle. I'm like, yep, that's Gary. When Gary has his, like, he's not talking face on, it's Gary. So, all right.
Yeah, I had a strategy session with him at like 4:30 in the afternoon. And he really had that face on and his eyes were drooping. And I'm saying, number one, you're not outputting anything. And number two, you're not listening to what I'm saying. Why don't you go take a nap before your next call or something?
He's good in the mornings. He's like me and he's pushing. Yeah. So, well,
he's pushing. He was pushing it. That's for sure.
Yeah. Morning, Kathy. You're muted. And I know that you're working frantically to unmute. I can tell. Heavy sigh, not working. I will say this, when I try and schedule my appointments where I need to be on and think. I try and schedule those in the mornings, preferably before 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because around 4 o'clock I can do it, but I know I'm not as sharp. I just know I'm not, Yeah. I don't.
It's my nap time.
I don't nap. If I do nap, it's in the car and it's 30 seconds or maybe a minute. Good morning. Any idea why I can see you and not hear a thing? Is this secret stuff this morning? No, it's your computer. You're on mute, but it's something with your computer. So try connecting in with audio. So let me figure out how you do that again. Down by the microphone, Kathy, there is a, hang on, let me get Bria in the room. Down by the microphone, there's a little tiny sign that looks like an upside down V. And if you click that, you can see what your speaker and microphone are set on. And you can test your speaker and microphone. So okay, now you're not muted anymore. Say something to me. You can't hear me still. All right. Which means, all right, hang on. By your microphone icon that says mute, there is a, what do you call that carrot thing? An upside down V.
The carrot.
So I'm curious, can you see me or hear me?
We can hear you.
There you go.
We can hear you.
I can't hear you I can see you.
Test your micro.
Should I go away and come back?
I can hear her.
Kathy, look in the chat.
It's not muted. And that would only mute me.
I know. Read the chat. The chat. There you go. All right. While you're reading the chat and she's doing that, I can hear you. Oh, we lost Bree. Bree.
My V's are right side up.
Yes, but buy them.
Click
Look
on it.
for the.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
She can't hear us.
Catherine, can't hear us at all?
You
Okay.
can't. Click
Probably
on.
on the wrong speaker system.
Exactly. And so click on it and test it and see what speaker's going in and out. And it's connected to something because I mean we can hear. We lost our Bree. There's our Bree. Hey.
Hey.
Let's hear
I think
some
I'll
good
go
news.
away and try coming back.
Okay.
All right, let's hear some good news, Bree.
I get to eat at 1 because I have colonoscopy today and I'm starving.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. When I go in for like to get blood work or whatever, and you know how you can't eat before the blood work, I stop by Starbucks and I bring it with me. And they're like, but yeah, I'm like, I have not touched it. Soon as you stick me though, it's going in me.
Right. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I come completely prepped, like completely prepped. So sorry about the colonoscopy because prep is hell. So we know what yesterday was like.
Well, they didn't send me the instructions until yesterday afternoon.
Oh,
my.
so I know what last night was like. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm
So
sorry. Ugh. Well, you know, hopefully everything will be coming out fine on the other side and we'll be good. You'll be all completely good. So and
yes.
you're
Yes.
doing what you need to do to take care of yourself. That is a good thing.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. My mom, when she passed away, I was 50. No, I was 40 something. And when mom passed away, and the doctor, as soon as she passed away, looked at me and he's like, colonoscopy for you starts now. And I'm like, what the hell? It's so rude.
You're like, I'm still grieving. He's like, yes.
Colonoscopy starts now. And he's like, and you're every 5 years. And I'm just like, because that's what she died of, because she never took care of herself. And I'm
Oh.
only one in the whole family, right? I'm like, Arr. So anyway, all right. So here's some good news, Kay.
I went to a RIA meeting last night and
Yeah.
it was on assisted living homes and how much money you can make on assisted living homes. So I got to thinking about my house and how great it would convert into an assisted living facility when I decide to downsize.
Right.
So I'm going to look at some models and see what it would cost because I have land. And if I put 3 or 4 of these suckers on my land and hired someone to manage all 3 or 4 of them, I wouldn't ever have to worry about money again.
No, you wouldn't, because they are flipping lucrative as hell.
Yes, they are.
I'm not even joking. I have actually seen people take old motels. Well, also because they have the kitchen area and then they have separate rooms. So it converts to that sort of a style fairly well. And each room's got, you know, plumbing and everything. So you're fine with all that. So you can do something with that as well. And then just, you know, homes that have lots of bedrooms tend to work really well, central kitchen-y areas and all that. So yeah.
Well, in Texas, you can have up to 16 in one home.
Wow. I think in Washington, there's a rule for it's under 5 beds or 6 beds. And then another rule if it's over that, there's some limit like that, but 16 is a lot.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the requirements for management are crappy.
Oh, they're horrible.
But
But,
anyway,
you know.
it was a good educational, and it made me think just in terms of, you know, with the assets that I already have, what I could do and how I could redeploy them. I mean, I've looked at homes and I've looked at apartments and now I've looked at this, and this fits my background perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So cool beans.
I don't know. I'm thinking.
I love thinking. All right. Kathy, can you hear us now?
I can hear you, but usually on the screen,
Yeah.
it'll show myself as well as everybody else. I don't see me.
Well, that's okay. We
Not that I
see you
care.
great, but let's hear some good news.
I had a great few days away.
Ah, I bet you did. The pictures on Facebook were awesome.
Yep. I had never gone to Lake Ontario or New York.
The
And
city? You went to the city?
so it was nice.
Did you do the city? New
No,
York?
no, no.
Oh, New York State. Okay. All right.
No, no, no.
Look at that look. I've never, no. That's pretty funny.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to doing the city and maybe seeing a show or food or something like that, but and I don't want to do that alone. So
I-
it's not a trip I would go by myself.
I love the city. And one
I'll
of my-
come with you. I like New
Oh,
York.
me too. Me
Okay,
too.
well,
me too.
I
One of-
need a guide. Let's have a group.
One of my favorite times Greg had some business in New Jersey or New York, whatever, I have no idea. Anyway, I had the city to myself and well, a bunch of times actually. And I just go and gosh, it's awesome. I mean, it truly is.
Well, I'm
Um,
sure the sights and sounds are,
The
whatever,
museums, the shopping, the food, just all of it, it's one of those cities, there's a couple of them where you walk into the city when you get to the downtown and it's like, because it's just so much,
Yeah, and I would be one of those typical stupid tourists because I'd be looking up at the sky going, wow,
That's how we can tell. You walk around like this. That's exactly how
Yep.
we can tell. Yep. All right. Craig, let's hear some good news from you, darling.
Hello. So yesterday the house went under contract, the lake house.
Mm,
Yay!
So
What price did it go under contract for?
715.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, and
They bit.
also investor that I've been working with, she's looking at purchasing some more houses. They'll be back in the country on Friday. And then also got another person she wants to she wants to lease a commercial building for her business.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna go out next week and look at a property.
Look what happened to Mr. Craig Leverett after he
that's what I was just thinking.
I know.
Take a little break and look at it just snowing all around you.
Yeah.
So true. Oh my gosh. One of the signs that I know that I need to really look into whoever's doing my accounting for me, that I need to really look into what they're doing is they won't leave. Like they won't leave. And if they won't leave, I'm like, something's up, So it's going super, super early or going super late and figure out what's going on. And every time it's been a train wreck. So there's just something about you should leave, You should once in a while. You really should. So very cool. Miss Anna down there, got some good news for us?
Good morning, guys.
Hey,
Morning.
Good news. Good news. I had a listing that I had a listing for a multifamily, the one that I was talking to you guys about. The buyer for that one did not get qualified for one tiny thing in their doc. So at this point, we're trying to, with the seller's assistance, we're trying to be creative with how we go about it. We did get a backup offer for 10K above ask, which was significantly higher than the first offer that we're working on. So that was good news. But the seller wants to hang on to the old contract because we're past the option period and all that, the inspection. So she's trying to do everything she can to salvage the deal. And so they're going to do a price reduction via an amendment, but the buyer will be doing a promissory note to the seller to finance the rest of it. So we're trying, but on the CAD, on the county appraisal district, this property was marked as a 4-unit instead of a 5. So we're hoping that the appraisal goes through with the numbers that we have. So it just takes some creativity, but I guess we're still hanging in there. We have a backup, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Your backup's higher. That's really good because that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
yep, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Yeah. So
It's
that's very cool.
their first time investors in the multi realm, so they're overly excited to get into the space. But I'm also concerned because they're also not very savvy. So, and the 1920 properties, so there's going to be stuff that come up in the inspection report. So
Mhm.
I'm afraid of going down that road.
Mhm.
Per se. We'll see. It's a good thing though. We have options.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, Anna, do you have access to the commercial mastermind recording?
I do for this week.
Kathy, what's up with it?
Well, there's, I only caught part of it, but there's somebody that's on the team that's, I think, in the Dallas area, but if he isn't in the Dallas area, he's got property in that area outside Dallas. I know that you're in Austin, but he's looking to do new builds, has a property, and I didn't know, well, and maybe anybody if you guys have anybody that might be interested. He's looking to help get it sold. I think it's got 21 lots. It's
Are
in
Oh,
you
that-
talking about
subdivision.
That's
Neola?
Nayor.
Huh?
Yeah, that's
Nayor?
Nayor.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't catch, like I said, I caught the tail. I caught the recording. I didn't catch the thing at all. So,
Yeah, I missed this week's too. Okay. And what did he need? He needed some.
well, he's
He
looking
needed
for
some
buyers or
time.
investors, somebody who might be, and I know
Um.
you're working with a lot of investors, Anna. I don't know.
Mhm.
I know you are too, Dutch, and it's
So,
everybody else is somewhat, but
Greg.
yeah. So,
And
but I don't have anybody.
I've got somebody I met that has 3 mobile home parks that they're selling if anybody's interested.
Where are they?
Is that
Oh.
Mike?
Where
No,
are
it's
they?
not Mike. It's not Mike. Never mind. Go ahead.
Where are they, Kay?
One's in San Antonio.
What's the price point, Kate?
I've got to get more information. I just took down the guy's name and number at the RIA meeting last night. And I've got an old investor that said they were interested in it, so I may try and connect them. And
Cool.
the other thing that happened last night, I was sitting there, I volunteered and I got there a little late. So I basically was checking people in that got there late. And so I'm sitting there and there's this one guy that is just like brilliant. And I've been watching him for a long time. He's Australian or South African, and he plays everything very close to his vest. But I watched him talking with this other guy. And so I went over and talked with him and said hello. And then I started talking to the other guy, and turns out he is an REO specialist, and he sells bank-owned properties for Chase, Bank of America, and he listed off about a half a dozen of them.
One of the
So-
big guys. He plays with the big banks.
So I asked if I could call him and talk to him, said I was very interested in that. And he looked, he said, "You're a volunteer?" I said, "Yes." He said, "You can call me." He said, "I'll open up my whole world to a volunteer."
Ah, wonderful.
So I've got to call him today too.
I'm sorry, I missed. What did he say, Kay? It froze up on my end.
He said, "So I see you're a volunteer," because I was checking people in that got there late.
Mhm.
Way I can stay in the meeting and still work. And so he said, I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Well, here's my name, here's my number." He said, "When you call me, remind me that you're a REIA volunteer." And he said, "I'll open up my whole world to you because
Oh,
you're."
that's awesome.
So we'll see.
That's super cool.
That makes my heart go pitter pat. That I'm not even joking. That is just what a great attitude, what a great concept, what a great thing to put into life. You know, I will open up my world to you. Ah, man, I love that. Wow.
I need a man to say that to me.
Thank you, Free.
We probably could all use somebody to say that to us in one context or another.
Where did you get this guy from, Kay?
Oh, and I have to tell you another tremendously big good news.
All right.
Gina and I have been talking about the boulders in my life, and my husband took over one of them. And yesterday, my daughter signed the adoption papers and gave up her parental rights. So the baby's going to get adopted by my son. So that was a huge boulder.
It's huge.
I've been worried about and carrying on, and I had to just let it go and let him do it. And I wasn't involved at all. And it got done. So I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
Oh, so you won't be taking care of the kids?
Oh, no, I still have my two. This was the third one.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But
No,
it's
I still have my two. We're going back to school and getting into football, and I have to order PE clothes today.
Okay, well, hey,
Yeah.
those are important things.
Yep. My good news did the Hoodle webinar thing last night. The goal is to get 10 people in to sign up every single week for the next, I don't know, 8 weeks or 10 weeks or whatever until we take this show on the road. And something glitched in the back end of the computer. So instead of having a room with 50 people in it or 80 people in it or 40 or whatever, we had a room with 16 people in it. And it was just, just everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong out of it. We still had 4 that signed up there. There's another one that may. So we got about a third out of it, but that was good for the fact, I mean, on the back end, y'all. So I just took over and I'm running everything because my system's working just fine. But on the back end, I'm like texting like crazy with Ron and his wife, like, can you guys get this together? Because if you can't get it together, I'm going to have to wing through this whole middle section that I don't do. But I was like, what the hell? I'll just wing through it. Who cares? So it went really well anyway, which is good. And then we'll figure out why the hell the back end's broke. It was so broke, even a girl came on and she's like, I found a link for half price, something or another, an old link that was one of the prices that when we did it for the team, right? But she was really cool. She goes, I'm not gonna, she was private chat. She's like, I'm not gonna say anything. She goes, you know, but this is what I found when I was Googling around trying to find something, and y'all should know that it's out there. And I am going to be signing up with you guys. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, what a sweetie. I really like you. Like, I really like you, you know? Anyway, so it went really good anyway. And then we're meeting Friday to figure out what it is. And then my other good news is, have you guys ever like lost a day, or gained a day? I swear to God, yesterday, all day long, I thought it was Wednesday. I almost called my accountability buddy early in the morning and woke him up. My daughter, I was texting her last night to find out because I thought the first day of school was, well, it is Thursday, but I thought that today was Thursday. And so I was texting her like, what time in the morning do I need to like FaceTime with her so I can see her on her first day of school? She's like, Mom, it's not today. It's tomorrow. I'm like,
That's awesome, Gina.
I
Yeah.
was the same way yesterday.
Were you? It
Yep.
was, oh, I'm telling you, it just messes calendaring in my head. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I need the calendar like embedded in my brain or something, because I live by it. I have to live by it. I struggle with that beast. I just really do on a regular basis. If I do something different, that like if I book an appointment on Sunday, I can guarantee you I need to start telling people if I book, because I never do, right? But if I do, you need to call me, because I will not call you. I will be like, la la, it's my day with Greg, la, and I'll butcher it every time. So anyway, that's my good news. Today is actually Wednesday and not Thursday.
Yeah,
And-
I have to check because I think today might be the day that we have our little RIA meeting. That's a joke compared to many of them.
So, well, never mind. I guess that's another conversation. Or what do we want to do about that? Or do we want to do anything about that? Let's hear challenges though. Let's move into challenges. Let's see if we've got any of those.
My biggest challenge doesn't have a whole lot to do with this. I think I threw away I have an index card sort of on rings, and I think I threw it away at the gas station when I pumped on the way back from New York, and it has all my passwords in it.
Oh,
For everything, all kinds of things, anything, all you name it, personal, business.
it's
It's
the
there.
thing that, yeah, my mom had a complete, almost everybody I know that's over a certain age has a password book, which defeats the point of the passwords. And, you know,
I
crap.
know, but
I-
you know, you have them on the computer and you save them in the computer. It seems to me it's the same thing.
Exactly. My son gives me a really bad time about it. And I'm like, I wouldn't care if the stupid computer would remember or even wanted the XYZ dash 123 dash, whatever alphabets and crazy things there are, but I can't remember that crap anyway. And so I'm sorry. Are you password changing today?
I have to probably do that. I've tried to give it a little bit of time to make sure it's not in some stupid place. But yeah, and like I said, I don't even know all the passwords that are in there. I really don't.
Yeah, I have an app on my phone. And with that app, it's got it's like a vault. And that's where I go to put passwords and all of that stuff.
You're not a Apple, are you?
Nope, Android.
You're one of those not real phones. What's the
Oh.
app?
No, I got the real phone. A Samsung.
Yep, I have a Samsung too that I regularly try to kill.
Okay, so what's the app?
It's called Secure Folder.
All right, so
And what does it cost?
It's free.
All right, because I need to, every single time my son, who's coming down in 2 weeks or whatever, and every single time he looks at and like, because he's my person in case, not in case I die, chances are this might happen someday. So he's my person, and I'm like, here's the stuff, and he's like, Mom. So as it is, if he sees my computer screen again, which I have 18 million little folders all on top of it, he'll like drop his drawers, but that's okay because that puts gray hair into his head. So, what other challenges do we have?
Got
Calendar.
one.
What you got?
I got notified yesterday that I had signed a contract back in March for coaching, and I put 2,500 down, and the next week they were supposed to take out the additional 3,700. Well, they didn't. So I got an email yesterday and says, due to my error, we need to take $3,700 out of your account. And I said, no, it was in there in March, but it's not in there now. So I've got to make arrangements to maybe use a help card or something to get that straight. But it's like, like blindside.
Yeah. Yeah, I need people to pull out I get it. Maybe they'll let you do a partial payment and delay stuff.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
I said, you need to reduce this because you screwed up, and we need to put it on a help card, which is
right.
A 6-month delay.
Oh, PayPal will do that also. PayPal will do a 6-month delay. Not a 6-month delay. They'll do a payment plan for 6 months, no interest. So for virtually, there's no interest, there's no other fees, that just PayPal will pay them immediately. Maybe there is maybe, I don't know. I do know that
I don't trust PayPal.
All right. Sorry. Well, okay. There's options out there though. All right. Does anyone else have anything real estate wise that we got going on? All right. So lead generation. Just FYI, me personally, my personal accountability on this, I have about halfway through calling back the pipeline. I need to get the other half of the way through calling back the pipeline. That will be done this week, period. And then I have 2 Indeed ads that I need to get responded to today. And then I looked at my calendar and realized that I don't have the pipeline built into my calendar. And I'm like, well, that's why you're struggling with it. What I usually do is I've got space, and then I look at my week and I'm like, okay, I can do it here, 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 and here. And then I grab my space, and I didn't this week, and my space is all chopped up, and I'm like, oh crap. So I blocked out my Friday in case of nothing else. I have that whole entire day, but my accountability is my pipeline this week to you all. So there you go. And my pipeline's on my follow-up phone calls. So we're about halfway through. So, all right. Anybody else have anything else before we let you go? Nope. All right. Craig, it's nice to see you back.
Nice to be
Good
back.
to see you back.
Yep. It really, really is. And I read this interesting thing, and I've really been kind of playing with it in my head. It's the ideal self and the real self. And when we're faced with a challenge, the ideal self is like, I'll use myself as an example. I really want to do public speaking and I wanted my book out there and I want my book contract and that's what I really, really want. And then the real self, which I don't like that name, is like, oh, like I really got to put myself out there and I got to figure it out. And I'd like to drop 26.6 pounds before then. Okay. And then I gotta be able to make sure I need to get super fit and healthy to be able to have that kind of energy to be on stage for hours and, blah, 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 blah. And they war. And because they war, like this one wins sometimes a lot, actually, because this one wants it, but this one gets afraid. And it's that battle. And I read, which I thought was interesting, I'm playing with the idea, that instead of focusing on this one and fixing the things that I need to fix in order to get there, just focus on this one. This is what you want. And you let the energy and the excitement of who you are and the opportunities and the possibilities and the hope and all that stuff, let that lead and focus in on that, because you'll do this and it won't even feel like a chore. So I'm started in focusing on this. And then when I went to my workout yesterday, I asked the guy, so I'm not dropping weight. I put it on when I went to that stupid trip where I saw you, Craig. That stupid trip, like I packed on 5 pounds and the 5 pounds won't go away. And I'm like, so my guy yesterday was like, do this, do this, do this. And he just kind of went through everything that I'm doing. And it started coming back off again, starting today. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm just going to focus on this. And this is easy then. So I don't know if that helps, but that's where my focus is going now.
I'm going to send you what I did. I bought a vision board. I mean, a whiteboard to put my vision and stuff up in front of me. So I see it every day. And I sat down to help a friend of mine who's going through some stuff. And I've been going through some, and I reviewed all the exercises that I've been doing in Vein of Gold. And I'm going to send that to you because I think you would like it.
What was all the exercise I've been doing in Vein of Gold?
Yes.
VEIN?
VEIN. It's a book about discovering the real you. And as I was reviewing it, it talks about really getting to know yourself, the power of words. And it talked about the 5 secret selves, and that you identify your 5 secret selves and then focus in on one of them at a time. Anyway, it's very interesting.
Is one the shadow self yeah, it sounds massively. Is one the shadow self, out of curiosity?
No, it's like,
okay.
Hold on. It's like, well, one of them was like, who's your cinema self? And if you were a movie star, what would you drive? What would you be like? And imagine yourself as a movie star. And where would you go? And where would you live? And then, it all ties in to looking at these different, and unveiling the secrets and the things about yourself that you like and that you don't like, and what words you use in your head to describe yourself and how powerful that is. And if you can change the words describing yourself, you can get to where you want. Anyway, it's fascinating stuff. I'll send it to you. You can decide what you want.
I love that, Kate. That's so cool.
Yeah, when I went through and reviewed it, and I'm only through like the first 5 or 6 chapters because it's so deep. It takes me a long time to go through the exercises.
Good.
Share it with us.
It also helps you do a narrative timeline of your life and remember things about you when you were an inner child and your adult child. And it talks about the warring between your adult child and your inner child and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, interesting stuff.
Vein of Gold. Yeah, that sounds massively interesting. Massively.
Like it.
So
I can see it on a Friday call from Gina.
Well, and I'm hosting a group on Saturday, and I've been back in my head. I'm like, what the hell's the topic for the group? I don't know. And I've just been playing with ideas, and I'm like, you really got to get up your butt. It's Wednesday, and you got to let everybody else know, because they're hanging on till I get my crap together, and Wednesday's about as late as that's acceptable.
This stuff has got material for years, and I took a course when I was in my 30s, and I was really frustrated with, being successful and kind of, is this all there is to life, et cetera. And I took this course, and a lot of the stuff that we did in the course, it was a year-long course of discovering, you and your real gifts and what you should be doing that's going to come naturally to you, et cetera. And a lot of the exercises we did were in this book. So,
Wow. A year-long course once a week?
well, we went, we had, I don't know, phone meetings, we had a coach, and then we went 3 or 4 times a year to a 2 or 3 day seminar. And, you know, she worked us through some stuff.
That's some powerful stuff there. That's a long time to facilitate a change, which is a great thing if you're trying to facilitate a core change, is over time.
Well,
Because
and the interesting thing is the girl that taught it was an ex high-end hooker.
that is wow. Wow.
So what was the name of it again?
Now Dutch is interested.
I can't remember the name of it. I just remember the girl's name was Jan, and she was a redhead, and she lived.
I don't need her phone number. I just.
in Buckhead.
Come
Her
on.
name's Cinnamon.
I have to go back. I mean, my brain. I mean, now I was 30. I'm 73 now. I can't remember.
That's something awesome.
I'm talking about the book now and what you're going through.
Vein of
because
gold.
The Vein of Gold, and here's the author. I have it right here. It's The Vein of Gold by Julia Cameron. She was the author of The Artist's Way, and she tries to help people get unblocked.
That's really good.
Yeah,
Speaking of being
I've gone
blocked
through a lot
for
of that.
an artist, there's a tiny book. Gary Keller's, do I have this? The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. In The
Yeah.
Millionaire Real Estate Agent, he lists 10 other books that massively impacted his life. And one time, a long time ago, I was like, well, I should read those 10 books. And I read 9 of them. I did not read Warren Buffett's, whatever he wrote. Like, and I was like, but I'm interested in it now, actually. But anyway, but one of them is teeny tiny, slim little novel called, I talked with Craig about this, Art and Fear. And it, I didn't read, oh, Julia Cameron, Kathy, that was the name. Anyway, Art and Fear is a really interesting book about being your authentic, true self. I should read it again. I really got to find that book again. Craig, I could kick my own butt for not getting it at that bookstore when I was not too far from your house, or wherever you are. Anyway, so yeah, thank you. That's all I got to say on this one. Hey, that's amazing.
One of the things this morning for about an hour and a half, I was listening to Charles Capps, who is an older teacher out of Texas or Alabama, Mississippi, down that way. And he talks about your words. He talks about your mindset. And the name of the CD or teaching I was listening to is how does Satan get his power? And it's only because he steals it from us. And what you're talking about, Kay, is one of the main things that in ourselves that allows him to steal power, because he's just a big balloon full of air and bad breath if you blew it up this way. But you give him power by what you allow him to speak back to you and what you believe, who your inner self is and who you really are. So it wasn't the hooker, it was the getting the hooks out of me.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love that. Good way to bring that one around. Hey, I like that. That's good. Kay, do you recommend that this book be a physical book, or would Audible, because of the exercises, should I get the physical copy?
Yeah.
Or
Yes,
okay.
the physical.
It's not an Audible kind. All right, because I was
No, there's worksheets, and she takes you through your timeline, and there's actually, I just started writing. It's a hard copy book, and I just started writing stuff out. I'd read it at night and stuff would come to me and I'd write it out and just get it out.
I have had a few books in my life that were very workbook sort of oriented. And when you actually do the exercises, they're very, very powerful. They're very powerful. When you don't do the exercises and just read through it, it's like, I liken it to this. It's akin to, I remember I used to use exercise tapes, like when I was in my 30s. So 30 some years ago, I would use exercise tapes. And I would get, there was a series that was really hard and people are like, Jane Fonda. I'm like, Jane Fonda, crap, man, do these things. Anyway, so that series, and I would get a new one and then I would just watch it straight through the first time just to see all the different moves and, you know, what kind of tools do I need and all that kind of stuff. And watching a video exercise tape is like, yeah, doing a video exercise tape.
Very
That's
different. And it's slow work.
Yes.
And it works
Buns
in the
of
back.
steel.
Huh?
Buns of steel.
Yeah.
Buns of steel.
Buns of
That was
steel.
easy
Do
too.
that
There
one.
was a series called The Firm that I did, which was hard. I'm not even
I
joking.
have that.
You had The Firm?
Yes.
Yeah, they were hard.
Stupid those exercise ball things are crazy.
Mine was like steps that were like 16, 18 inches tall, like huge steps and that kind of, it was like if anyone ever wanted to work out, they would like pass out on the floor practically. And I'm like, you know, fine, be there. I'm finishing this thing. Anyway, but yeah, that was back when I was 30 and very buff and ran a marathon because, you know, I don't have 30 is not affecting me in my life. I'm just going to go run a marathon and then never run another one again as long as I flipping live.
Yeah, see, I just rode my bike for 30 and 40 miles, you know.
It's the book Art and Fear by David Bales. Yes, that's it. Craig, that's the book. It's just slim little tiny volume, really good on the things that stop us and becoming our true selves and operating in that world anyway. So
Who's the author?
David Bales, Craig went and found it. It's, oh, hang on, I don't want to share my screen. I want to pull up the chat. Hello, Gina, stop it.
I think it's really good for me if with those workbook type of books, if I can have the book for the workbook part and then do the audio for, because it's quicker.
To reinforce, yeah.
Yeah, to reinforce also because I read slow
Mm.
and take it all in. I'm not a speed reader at all.
I put my audiobook, it makes my husband crazy. He's like, how the hell can you even understand that? Because I'll run it on 1.5 to 2, depending on how slow the speaker is. And he's like, how do you even, I'm like, no problem.
I can't, I don't retain it as well, audio.
Nobody does. You know that?
I'm a slow reader, but when I'm reading, sometimes I'll read the same passage or the same page multiple times. So it can make sense to me before I move on.
I do it
But with
because
the
I'm getting
audiobook-
tired.
With the audiobook, I go through it and I'm like, I don't know what the hell I just listened to.
What did I just hear for the last 5 minutes? I'm lost because my brain's doing this. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be careful of that. Yep.
It's true. So I will listen to, what I like about the audiobook is I'll play it or audio things. I will play them repeatedly. If it's something really good, I will go back to it and go listen to it again. Not fiction so much, but definitely nonfiction stuff. I will go back and go grab it again. And because if it's very dense and very rich, there are nuggets that I will learn the first time that because I'm in a different place the second time, I will hear completely different. I'll hear the old nuggets too. Oh yeah, I remember when I did that and did that, but I'll hear all this new stuff, but crap, that was in here too.
Yeah.
So that part's nice. And then the other part that I like about it is I have long road trips on a regular basis. I mean, well, you do too. You have a long road trip. So I plug stuff in that way. And then it's, you know, sometimes I want to rock and roll and sometimes I just want like to learn a little bit. And then you get both. So,
Yep.
All right, you guys, I got to jump onto my accountability call because my AB buddy is on Wednesday, not yesterday. So have a really, really good rest of your day. And what would my encouragement be? Block out your time blocking stuff and get it done and get that pipeline called back again, because by God, if I have to do it, that means somebody else has to also. All right.
I
Have a
like
good-
that wonder.
And speak
Yeah.
to your mountain.
Exactly.
Speak to your mountain.
Yep, because your words
Tell
are
it to get out
powerful
of the
and
way.
they mean something. And my last thing, your actions show me exactly what your beliefs are. If I have to judge between your words and your actions, I'm going to take your actions, but your actions are going to show me your beliefs because you wouldn't be doing it if you didn't believe it. That's how that is. So make sure that you have alignment between your words, your actions, and your beliefs, because they need to be aligned. If they're not, you're fragmented. So, all right, y'all have fabulous rest
See
of
ya.
your day. Yep.
Thank
Love
you.
y'all.
Love
Bye.
you guys. Have
I
a
love you
blessed
guys.
day.
Happy
You as
Wednesday.
well.